Hey, what's up, YouTubers? Over here I have a 2005 Hyundai Elantra, and we got a check engine light on, and the customer states that she's having some a hard time accelerating, hesitant. Says that the way she described it, she's saying that the car feels heavier. So I guess it's, she's having a hard time accelerating. So we're gonna pull the engine codes out of here. Let me just see what these engine codes are. And on this 2005 Hyundai Elantra, the data link connector is right up under here where the hood release is. Just gonna plug it in right there. There we go. Alright. Let's see what kind of codes we get out of here. Alright, saying that the DTCs, we have 3 of them. So we got a PO722 output speed sensor circuit, no signal. We have a PO507 idle air control system, RPM higher than expected. And we have a PO700, which is a transmission control system code. Alright, so out of these 3 codes, usually you want to go to the first code. This one being an output speed sensor circuit, no signal. And usually the first code, so sometimes one code will clear up the rest of the codes. In this case, this output speed sensor circuit, which is the output shaft on the transmission, it's saying that it has no signal coming from that sensor. So I think that's where I would go first. And on this 2005, let's see. And on this 2005 Hyundai Elantra, your output speed sensor is located right down. Let me see if I can't really see it too good. It's right down in here. If you can see it. Let me get my flashlight. There it is right there. Right there. Let's see, I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit. That's it right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. So, there it is right there. That's it. There's just one fastener holding it down. That's your output shaft speed sensor. You also have an input shaft speed sensor, which is located a little bit to the front, and then there's a vehicle speed sensor on the back of the transmission. Now what I'm going to do in order to test this, there is has a potentiometer on the back of it. You can just reach around the back and press the clip on the back of it and pull it out right here. Here's the connector. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab grab a little multimeter here, and I'm going to take the negative lead, plug it up to the battery here, the negative ground on the battery. Just find your good ground. It doesn't have to be the battery. It can be any type of ground. Just situate it here. Let's see. First check I'm going to do is a continuity check, and you got terminals 1, 2, and 3 going from right to left. So this is, let's see if I can do this here. Let's see if I can set you up right here. Alright, so you got terminal 1 right here. Let me see if I can get it better. This is terminal 1. This is terminal 1. Lord, you can't see it, can you? Anyway, this is terminal 1, 2 in the middle, and 3 on the far left. Well, if you touch terminal 1 with the key off, you should have continuity. And according to the multimeter I have it reading here, I do have continuity. I have it set down here on continuity, which is a little arrow with a line in front of it used for checking diodes and continuity. So I do have continuity right here on terminal 1. That's where I have my positive lead of my multimeter. Alright, I have my negative lead right here to the battery. Alright, now what I'm going to do is, because this sensor is a potentiometer with a 5-volt reference, I'm going to switch it to volts, and now I'm going to test for voltage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the key to the on position, and if terminal number 2 has a 5 volts with the key on, engine off, with the key on to the on position, if terminal 2 has 5 volts and terminal number 3 has battery voltage, which is going to be 12 volts, that means that your wiring harness is good, and just make sure, and your PCM should be good. Everything should be good. Basically what I'm trying to do is rule out everything but the vehicle speed sensor. That's kind of like your route of diagnostics. You want to basically try to rule out all other possible causes for that code, and basically eliminate everything except that sensor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the key to the on position. Alright, so I'm going to turn the key to the on position. 1, 2. Alright. Alright. Now with the key on, alright. Okay, and you can see here with my positive lead here in terminal number 2, I have about 4.62 volts. This is a Harbor Freight multimeter. It's not the best one. I got my Fluke in the house, and of course my negative lead is on the negative battery terminal. I got about 5 volts, so that looks good. That means my 5 volt reference is there. Basically, the way that it works is let me get situated here. Is Lord have mercy. With vehicle, as vehicle speed increases, then your voltage increases all the way up until a maximum of 5. And so the lower your speed, then the lower the voltage. But I just have the battery power on, so you know you have voltage coming. Alright, this right here is terminal number 3. And I'm touching terminal number 3, and I got about 12 volts, 11.78. And here's and I have my positive lead on terminal number 3. Of course, my negative is still on the negative battery cable. So it looks like the wiring harness is good. It looks like I'm getting power. So next thing you want to do is just check the PCM connections. Of course, I got the headlights on also, which is probably why I'm not reading a full 12 volts. So I'm gonna go here and cut the car off now. So basically, I'm suspecting it's the output shaft speed sensor. If it was the vehicle speed sensor, you'd probably have a different code for that, for the vehicle speed sensor. Also, you'd probably notice that the gauges for your the speed gauge will be fluctuating and giving some erratic numbers, or something that would be very off. Say if you're going 20, all of a sudden it jumps up to like 45 or 60, or say if you're going around 60, or it's going to read something lower, it'll start jumping around. Also, what I've done is I've driven this vehicle, and I had a GPS hooked up to it, which also reads your speed. So I noticed that the GPS speed that I was being given also matched the speed that was on the dash. So I know it's not the vehicle speed sensor. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to replace the vehicle speed sensor, the output shaft speed sensor, reset the code, and then drive it around and see if the code comes back on. See if there's any kind of difference in performance of this vehicle also. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's get to it. Let's go ahead and replace that vehicle speed the output shaft speed sensor. Now to do this, here, let's go get to it. Alright, now to remove this vehicle speed sensor, first thing I'm going to do is come down in here, and if you can see right here, I'm going to disconnect the electrical connector by pressing down on this tab and sliding it off. There it is. Alright, and this right here is going to be a 10 millimeter. So what I have is a ratchet here with a very long extension and a 10 millimeter socket on the very back of it. And just get down there and twist it off. Just set you down here for a second. Take that off. All right, and looks like my bolt fell down in there, and I just got a magnet right here. Just gonna pick it up right there, that magnet. Just set that to the side. Alright, now you can just come down here. What I'm doing is just reaching around behind the intake right here. There's a large little space right here. I just reach around from the back and reach down here, pull this harness out the way. Basically it just slides right up. Just pull that on out. There you go. There it is right there. And just by the looks of it, I mean, looks pretty gunked up. And looks like, okay, yeah, it looks pretty gunked up, pretty bad. All right, now what I'm gonna do is on the new one here, on this new one here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lubricate this O-ring right here with some transmission fluid, and it looks pretty much about the same as the old one, so I'm going to lubricate that with transmission fluid right fast. Alright, what I got here is some automatic transmission fluid, some Dex stuff, and basically I just poured some into the cap, and I'm just dab my finger in there a little bit and just run it around this O-ring right here. Right, gotta lubricate it. Alright, now that I've got it all lubed up, let me go ahead and take this off the back of the new one. And now that I have her all lubed up, I'm gonna go ahead and install it on the vehicle. Go back out here to the vehicle, and installation is the exact same of opposite of removal. Kind of wiping that area off. All right. Okay. Just push it straight down in there. Get your 10mm fastener. Alright, got it down in there. Alright. Alright, and just tighten her on up. And she doesn't have to be really tight. You don't want to over tighten this. Alright. Now that I have that fastened securely, I'm going to go on ahead and grab my electrical connector and reinstall that. Just Right. Now, basically what I'm going to do is, after installing that output shaft speed sensor, I'm just going to go in here and reset the codes. And reset that check engine light. And then take it on a test drive. And just going back over the codes, this is a PO722 output speed sensor circuit, no signal. And this, the second code right here is let's see. Let's see, the second code here is a PO507 Idle Air Control System, RPM higher than expected. And this kind of makes sense, because if your output shaft speed sensor is not picking up a signal, or if there's no signal coming from it, then your transmission doesn't know when to shift. So your RPMs might go a little bit higher, or they'll be higher than what they're normally supposed to be in order to obtain a signal. There's no signal for it to shift. So that makes sense. Your idle air control system RPMs would be higher. And also right here, this transmission control system, since it is connected to the transmission, then I mean, all these codes, it kind of makes sense to have all these codes. Let's see. Sometimes whenever you look at codes, like say if you have a misfire or something like that, a misfire code, then you might also have a code for a fuel trim or something like that, being too lean or too rich. And so usually if you take care of the first DTC, then that will take care of the rest of them. So I'm going to go ahead and erase these codes and take it on a test drive. Okay. Alright, let's take it on a test drive and Alright, so we replaced the output shaft speed sensor on that 2005 Hyundai Elantra. I reset the codes, drove it around. Not sure if I went through a complete drive cycle yet, but I've noticed a drastic improvement as far as the performance and the drivability. I think that solved the problem. And the check engine light has not come on since resetting it. And again, that's that Hyundai Elantra it's a 2.0 liter, in case you're wondering. And I believe it's a 2005 GLS Hyundai Elantra. So if you ever have a similar code, I believe it was it was a PO722, and or you might get a PO720, something about, usually 700 PO700 codes are usually transmission codes, and it solved all the problems. So glad we got that fixed. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully, you know, in case you have a similar problem, this might help you out. Alright, thanks for watching. Hey, what's up, y'all? I got a little update. Okay, so I was driving the vehicle around and the check engine light came back on. So pulled the code out, and it was the PO507 code again, the idle air control system RPMs higher than expected. Okay. Prior to doing this, I spoke with this customer before, and they said that they had the idle air control system RPM higher code came on previously. It was kind of like an intermittent code. So what I did, which is a good thing, because that let me know that the output speed sensor the output shaft speed sensor that we replaced on the vehicle, that worked, because that PO722, the output shaft speed sensor code, did not return, nor did the PO700, the transmission control system. That code did not return either. So the only code that came back on was the idle air control system code, the PO507. Okay, so what I did in order to fix that is basically, I'm gonna show you here. The car's not here right now, so I've already done this. I wish the vehicle was here so I could show you actually on the vehicle. But I'm just show you this on all data right here. And what you're looking at, let's see if you can see this. This is here's your air intake right here. Let me get this is your air intake right here. There's your air filter right here. It goes in here. Here's your throttle body right here. So what I did is I just popped these little clips right here on the air filter, on the air cleaner housing, so that you can access the air filter. And basically just there's a 10mm fastener right here, and everything on here is 10mm, which made this pretty easy to do, including the engine cover, which you do not see in this picture. There's 4 10mm bolts at the corners, one right here, down at the corners here, over here, down here, and over here. There's 4 of them. Just take off the engine. It's the cover for the engine compartment. Basically, take that off, and you'll be able to see all of this, access everything right here. But there's a 10mm right here. Just loosen that up for that clamp, and you can take this the air duct from the throttle body. And what you're going to do, this is the throttle position sensor. What you're going to do is on the other side, in order to open up the throttle, just pull on that lever, and you want to clean that throttle, clean the throttle plate, the whole throttle body, as best you can. Which could, that could be one of the possible causes for this code, is a bunch of gunk on that throttle plate. So you want to clean that throttle plate as best you can, get everything off, especially around the lip of that throttle plate. And this right here just opens, this right here, the throttle position sensor, as your throttle plate opens and closes. So this is kind of like the pivot point right here for your throttle plate, and this detects how far open that throttle plate is. This right here is your idle speed control actuator. It's actually this piece right here, this whole thing. And there's a 10mm fastener right here. There's also one on the bottom right down here. So what you're going to do is remove these 2 10mm fasteners, and there's going to be 2 air ducts, one here on the top and one here on the bottom. I took a screwdriver and a rag, sprayed some carb clean on it, and stuck it down in there, cleaned it out. Also with this piece right here, there's like it basically controls your idle speed. There's a door kind of in here that opens and closes to vary your idle speed. So what you're going to do, I took this piece off and I took some carb clean, or you can take brake clean or whatever, and I just held the part in my hand and sprayed some carb clean, brake clean down in there, and just let it sit. And I just let the solvent just sit and soak, break up some of that those carbon deposits. It was really dirty down in there. This part right here was really clogged up. So I just sprayed some of that carb clean in there, let it dissolve, and then I took like a 90-degree pick, cleaned down in there with a rag on top of it. Used a screwdriver, put the rag on top of the end of the screwdriver, got down in there and just cleaned it side to side. But this is the piece right here that you want to clean right here. This is your idle air control, idle speed control actuator, and this right here is what controls. So if you have that code, that PO507, what you're going to do, you're going to want to take this piece off right here. So there's an electrical connector right here. You're going to disconnect that, take out these 2 10mm fasteners, clean this part out really good. This is the sensor right here, or the actuator. But this right here is basically what opens and closes the pivot door right here. And this basically opens, and this is your actual actuator. but just clean down in here and then clean this throttle plate right in here, get that whole area clean. And that's basically what I did. And I reset the code, and I haven't had any more issues with it. So I hope that video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the videos, and I got a lot more videos coming at you. Alright, thanks for watching.